I asked over 500 women what they desperately wish men knew about foreplay, and one answer came up so often it shocked me. Make me finish hard. Not just finish, but finish with intensity, with my whole body shaking, with an orgasm I can't forget. And here's what these women told me. The difference between her faking it and her begging you not to stop, it's not your size, it's not how long you last, it's 9 specific things that happen before penetration even begins. But here's the problem. Most men skip right past these. And I'm talking about techniques that 90% of guys have completely forgotten exist. I'm Dr. Fiona Gray, your trusted men's health advisor. And today I'm walking you through 9 forgotten foreplay techniques that prime her body for the kind of explosive finish she'll be thinking about for weeks. But stick with me here because technique number 7 is the one women told me they fantasize about most, and it's something almost no man does anymore. Let's start with the first one, the anticipation setup. Here's what this looks like. You're sitting next to her fully clothed and you lean in close. Your hand rests on her knee. You stay there. You don't move up her thigh. You don't rush. You just let your hand sit there while you're talking to her, looking at her, making her hyper aware of that single point of contact. What's happening in her body right now? Her nervous system is firing. She's wondering when you'll move, where you'll touch next. That wondering, that anticipation, it's already creating arousal before you've done anything sexual. The mistake men make is they think arousal starts when clothes come off. Wrong. Arousal starts in her mind, sometimes hours before. When you plant that seed of anticipation early, her body has time to build tension. And tension is what makes the eventual release so much more powerful. Now, the second technique builds directly on this, and most guys completely skip it. The verbal tease. This is where you tell her what you're going to do to her, but you don't do it yet. You lean in and whisper, "Later tonight, I'm going to take my time with you." That's it. You don't elaborate. You don't follow through immediately. You let her imagination run wild. Women have incredibly vivid sexual imaginations. When you give her a promise without immediate fulfillment, her mind fills in the blanks. She's building the scenario in her head while you're just sitting there having dinner, watching a movie, whatever you're doing. And here's the key. The longer the gap between the promise and the payoff, the more intense her physical response will be when you finally touch her. Her body has been preparing. Blood flow has increased. Sensitivity has heightened, all from words. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is what women told me separates average lovers from unforgettable ones. The third technique is the strategic denial. You start kissing her. Things are heating up. She's into it. And then you stop. You pull back. You look at her. Maybe you smile. Maybe you don't say anything. But you pause deliberately. This is not game playing. This is physiology. When arousal builds and then gets interrupted, the body compensates by increasing sensitivity. When you come back to kissing her, she's more responsive than she was before you stopped. Most men think momentum means never stopping. They think if they pause, they'll lose her interest. Completely backwards. The pause creates hunger. Do this 2-3 times during foreplay, and by the time you actually touch her intimately, she's already on the edge. Now, pay attention to number 4 because this is where most men make their biggest mistake. The non-obvious touch. You know where guys usually touch first? Breasts. Breasts. Between her legs. The obvious places. And that's exactly why those touches have lost their power. She's expecting them. Instead, touch the places she's not expecting. The small of her back, the inside of her wrist, behind her knee, the back of her neck. Run your fingers along her rib cage. These areas are packed with nerve endings that rarely get stimulated, which means they're incredibly sensitive. When you touch her in places she's not anticipating, her nervous system stays alert. She doesn't know what's coming next. That unpredictability keeps her present, keeps her engaged, keeps her body responsive. And here's what women told me. When a man touches them like he's discovering them, like he's curious about their body rather than following a routine, that's when they feel most desired. And feeling desired is half the battle. We're about to get to technique number 5. But first, I need to tell you something that changes everything I'm teaching you. Most men think these techniques work the same on every woman. They don't. Every woman has specific triggers, specific fantasies, specific things that drive her wild. And if you're guessing at what those are, you're missing out on creating truly intense experiences. That's why I created the Desire Playbook: 20 Best Sexual Questions to Ask a Woman. This guide gives you the exact questions to ask your partner so you understand what she actually craves, what her specific fantasies are, what her body responds to most. These questions open up conversations most couples never have. And when you combine these 9 techniques with knowledge of her specific desires, that's when you become unforgettable to her. You can grab the Desire Playbook completely free. The link is right below this video in the description. Download it before we continue, because what I'm about to teach you in the next 4 techniques becomes exponentially more powerful when you know her specific preferences. All right, technique number 5, the temperature play. This is simple but incredibly effective. Ice cube in your mouth, or warm tea. Then you kiss her neck, her stomach, her thighs. The contrast between the temperature and her skin creates a sensation she's not used to. It's unexpected. It's intense. Women told me this technique stands out because most physical touch feels the same. Warm hand, warm mouth. But when you introduce temperature variation, every touch becomes an event. She's paying attention to each one. You can alternate. Cold, then warm. Move between different parts of her body. The unpredictability combined with the physical sensation creates this heightened awareness that makes everything else you do feel more intense. Now we're getting to the techniques women specifically asked me to share. Number 6 is breath control. Before you touch her intimately, hover your mouth just above her skin. Let her feel your breath, warm, close, but not touching. Move slowly down her body, her neck, between her breasts, her stomach, her inner thigh. What's happening here? Anticipation again, but layered. She can feel you're close. She can feel the warmth. Her body is preparing for touch that hasn't happened yet. When you finally do make contact, the relief and the pleasure hit simultaneously. This works because you're engaging multiple senses. She feels the warmth. She hears your breathing. She's aware of your proximity. Her whole nervous system is firing before you've even touched her. And now the technique women told me they fantasize about most. Number 7, the edging tease. This is where you bring her close to orgasm and then you stop. Not cruelly, not as punishment, but deliberately. You're using your hand or your mouth. She's building, her breathing changes, her body tenses, and right before she finishes, you slow down. You ease off. You let her come back down slightly. Then you build her up again, and again you stop right before the peak. You do this 3, 4, maybe 5 times. And here's what happens. Each time you bring her to the edge and back, the eventual orgasm becomes more intense. It's like compounding interest. The tension builds on itself. Women told me this is what they think about when you're not around. Being brought to the edge over and over, the frustration mixing with pleasure. Until finally you let them finish, and it's so intense they can barely handle it. But here's the thing about Technique 7. It requires one critical element that leads us directly into number 8. The 8th technique is the vocal feedback loop. You need to know where she is, how close she is, what's working. And the only way to know is if she tells you or you read her body perfectly. So you ask simple questions. Does this feel good? Do you want more? Tell me when you're close. And you pay attention to her breathing, her sounds, the way her body moves. This feedback tells you exactly when to build, when to back off, when to finally let her finish. Most men are silent during sex. Huge mistake. When you vocalize, when you tell her what you're noticing, when you ask what she wants, it creates this connected intensity that magnifies everything. She feels seen. She feels like you're fully present with her. All right, we're almost at the end, but number 9 is the technique that ties everything together. The full body integration. Here's what this means. When you finally bring her to orgasm, you're not just focused on one area. Your hands are on her, you're kissing her, you're pressed against her. She's feeling you everywhere. This creates what women described as a whole-body orgasm, not just genital, everything. When her nervous system is engaged from multiple points, the climax spreads. It's not localized, it's total. Use your hands on her hips, her thighs, her breasts while your mouth is working. Keep her body fully engaged. The more of her that's being stimulated, the more intense the finish. Now, here's something that impacts every single technique I just taught you. Blood flow. For women to reach those intense, full-body orgasms, proper blood flow to the genitals is absolutely essential. Women have erectile tissue in the clitoris and vaginal area that needs to engorge with blood for maximum sensitivity and pleasure. As we age, nitric oxide production declines, and that directly affects circulation. That's why I recommend Flow, an organic nitric oxide support supplement. It supports healthy blood flow throughout the entire body, including to the genitals, which enhances arousal and sensitivity. When blood flow is optimized, every technique I taught you becomes more effective because her body is more responsive. You'll find Flow linked in the description below if you want to support optimal circulation for both you and your partner. Let me recap the 9 forgotten foreplay techniques that make her finish hard. Number 1. The anticipation setup. Plant the seed early. Let tension build in her mind before you even start. Number 2. The verbal tease. Tell her what you're going to do, but don't do it yet. Let her imagination work for you. Number 3. Strategic denial. Build her up, then pull back, repeat. The pauses increase sensitivity. Number 4. The non-obvious touch. Skip the expected areas. Touch her where she's not anticipating. Keep her nervous system alert. Number 5. Temperature play. Use ice or warmth to create contrast and make every touch an event. Number 6. Breath control. Let her feel your presence, your warmth, your proximity before actual contact. Number 7. The edging tease. Bring her to the edge repeatedly before finally letting her finish. This is what she'll fantasize about later. Number 8. The vocal feedback loop. Ask questions. Read her body. Stay connected. This amplifies everything. Number 9. Full body integration. Engage her entire body when she climaxes. Make it total, not localized. These 9 techniques work, but they work exponentially better when you understand what your specific partner craves. That's why the Desire Playbook is so important. Those 20 questions give you a roadmap to her specific desires. They help you customize these techniques to what drives her wild specifically. Every woman is different, but these fundamentals create the foundation. And when you combine proven technique with personalized knowledge of what she wants, that's when you become the man she can't stop thinking about. Your intimate life is worth investing in. Understanding what actually creates explosive pleasure for women makes you a more confident, more capable man. Thanks for watching.